first video, hopefully for a vlog. And this is me arriving at the camper. It is in a storage unit, and we'll do a little walk around and show you what it looks like. So apologize for driving here with the camera in my right hand. Hopefully I'm capturing an image well, and trust that I don't do this while driving at speeds and around town. So here we are. We're in Belton, Missouri, just south of Kansas City. This is your a storage unit. We see a lot of large RVs here. Oh, I think I've seen this one for sale or something like it. That's a half deuce military vehicle. It was for $15,000. I don't know if this is that one, but that would be impressive tow vehicle. I'm actually have to sell the vehicle, and I'm in right now. This can only pull 1,500 pounds, this little CRV, so I can pull something a little bigger. And that little something is this. So here we are. This is a 1970 L&M Roadrunner. I'm gonna stop the video and do a little walk around here in a second. All right, back at it. I had to move my vehicle. This gentleman, that was the space I was in. He's got a little, that's a pop-up camper. Nice little guy, the AC unit on top. Might try and talk to him here shortly. This compartment is for batteries. 12-volt battery, like a car battery. It looked like it was supplying the pump, so you could always get fresh water, even if you were off-grid. I'm not sure what else it was supplying. Maybe a little bit of lighting. The lighting looks like it's AC versus DC. So back over here to the door. I would call this like a veneer. This all needs to come off, right? Does the door itself, looks like the integrity is pretty good. I can reuse that, bend that in. I don't know if someone tried to break in before, but definitely want to get to that. But I think I can reuse this door, no problem. I think I wanted to save money as well. I've seen people put like a new modern, like a home door with a bunch of windows, but it has a nice window. It's not broken. I'm gonna try and reuse this. And I would say that I might be able to use a home lock, which will be nice, better quality. Okay, moving on in. All right, we already see this lovely shag carpet. A little box here with no idea. I can't even open it. Don't even know why that's there. It's not even like a step up. All right, this is the dining area. I don't know if these cushions were redone. I kind of feel like they were. Don't know. Same with the blinds, don't know. But just a quick overview. You got storage up top. I left some compartments open to kind of air out, particularly the oven. There was a mouse in here. I don't know how he got in, but he was alive. A little funny side story there is I took all that home and washed it. I banged off the fecal matter. You didn't really realize till later there's an issue with the hantavirus you can get. It's only typically deer mice. But you want to be safe, so you don't want to broom, vacuum. You don't want to kind of stir it up. It's like spores. So my girlfriend, when I washed in the kitchen sink, was livid. And then the dishwasher and everything else. But anyway, I think now it could be reused if this thing works. This is a vintage, everything's vintage about this thing, is the 70s, but it's kind of, someone called this dark avocado, this color. And the brand is Holiday. Hopefully this thing works. That's iconic here. All propane, like I said, 4-burner, which is unique. Sometimes there's a 2-burner or 3-burner, something like that. All the buttons feel firm. What do we have over here? So things like little lights like these guys. This could have been all DC. I don't know. I have to get into the wiring, but you see there's plenty of outlets around, so that was good. This actually pops up. I'm not going to do now because it's broken on the hinge over there. This pops up, so you can turn this into a bed here. I would call it, you know, be generous to call it a full double by any means. It seems a little wider than a twin, but shorter. Certainly not twin long. So I have an idea for this I'll get to later. Here is a bed up top. So I've read people don't like this because it's narrow. This room might be, what, 2 feet? So once you get up here, but I think it's quite cozy. I think that could be the master bed. I was thinking about making this like more of the master bed down here, but this sleeps 4 to 6. So maybe 2 people up here, 2 down there, 1 down here, 2 down here. We'll make that 6. But you wouldn't want to do it for more than a day. You'd probably kill each other. But anyway, back to, you know, showing you a little bit more about this. You'll hear the rain coming down. I'm gonna like this aluminum roof. Hearing the rain, I think, is gonna be kind of nice to go to sleep. There is insulation under here. This is what the mice and stuff are using to make nests. All this wiring here, that came from the battery apartment down there. So I don't know how it was connected. Again, I think it was over here, and I think this is for the pump that's back there that I haven't seen yet. You see water supply line and another line here, that's metal, so that looks like it could be for propane, but all right, what do we got here? This is a little like regulator. What did it say on the side? It calls a handle fully extended, lubricated with no mineral oil. Progressive Dynamics, Michigan. Anyway, I think it's for the gas. It doesn't have the units on here. I think it's in PSI. It's a PD312. That's the model. I'll have to look that up. But I think this has to do with gas, but I'll get into later. Here's the refrigerator. It's been replaced. I don't like how it's sticking out. I don't know. There is room to go back further. You can see the old metal line there. That was for this, for the propane. You can see that line that comes in there. I don't know if it curves up. I'll have to get into that. Again, I don't want to make this too long, so I'll just sweep through. There was an old vintage clock here. I took it home. It works. I don't know if it's original. It looks like it is, but not. I didn't know for sure. I thought it would be wired in if it was more classic, so it might have been added or replaced. Of course, this is a quintessential opening some beverages. What else can I show you? Here's the closet. All right, so there's the electrical service. There's your little circuit breaker. Usually these things are on a 30 amp service, these older things, and I can see here we have 315, so 45. Maybe that's a main breaker probably, and then the two separate. So I would say this is only 30 amp service. I don't know why there's two. Maybe one's for the appliances and one's for all the lighting. There's the water here. You hear this hail coming down now. Here's the water heater. There's the water heater. This is 5 gallon. This is the hot water or the space heater that was running off of propane. I bet this doesn't work. Black pipe. Black pipe is for sewage. You see here, it's going all the way up, or just wastewater. But usually you see that, it's not potable water. It's going down under the shower. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Okay, you see that vent? That's the vent that goes from this propane, the flue, to dump the exhaust heat outside. But let's go back to this pipe. So there was a vent stack above the toilet, or above the sink. I don't know if there's two here. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Classic RV camper lights. I saw these in a store yesterday. They're lovely little owls. Anyway, and I like this. I think this is like fancy s'more machine. Part of your whole glamping experience here. You stick it in the fire. Not that red thing that was stuck on there. And then this is for like fish and things you put over a fire. So, it looks like they enjoyed themselves, did it right. And then here is that air conditioning unit from the inside. Full shower, separate from toilet. A lot of times you'll see the toilet inside the shower, which is not ideal if you want someone to multitask here, if it can be used by two people. This is not a compost toilet. I'd love to do one of those, but my girlfriend is not on board with that, at least right now. And the idea I've thought about too is if you could take it where it could at least separate the solids and the liquids. If you could modify a compost toilet, make it a little bit more usable. Again, I'll get into that later. And then here's that classic kind of same style that you see on the kitchen counter, the center table, and the bathroom. To save money, I could paint this and reuse it, but I'm hoping to be able to replace it. I know that's part of its look, so if I do post these online, I get any comments people have about what I should do, materials. I want to make this lightweight. For instance, using bamboo for counters in the table or the kitchen counter. Maybe even this. So any ideas of what quintessentially I should keep Obviously the outside and the color most likely, but inside I think the general floor plan, with the exception of this whole area, I'm gonna make this a combo thing I'll talk about later. So with that, back to why I was here, to get measurements and to check weatherization with this rainstorm. This is water damage, and it seems like it's all dry, so it doesn't seem like it's presently leaking. So that's impressive if that's the case. Okay, here too, let's look at this. Not wet currently. I can't tell. See, no water. Again, there was serious water damage, but maybe it's been since insulated. So I'm happy with that. Let's get you in the bathroom here. That's me, little disheveled. Yeah, that's it. Let's get in the shower real quick, see what this looks like. All right. That's the shower. Oh, and you can sit down here. I don't know if you noticed, but it shook. That's because there's no. We're not on jack stands, scissor jacks or whatever, to keep this thing nice and stable. So that'll have to change. Okay. Lastly, the rain stopped. Let's look at the roof, if we can, and see if there's pooling water. Okay. I'll get up on the tongue. Hello, sir. How you doing? Well, I just bought this thing. It's a lot of work, so just doing a little video of how it looks now, and I wanted to see how the weather's holding up in this rain.
Oh, see if it's leaking.
Yeah, if it's leaking or anything, and it looks like it's dry. There were issues in the past, but...
I really like it.
Do you? Yeah, it's kind of boxy, but...
Really? You might look inside?
Yeah, come on in. Yeah, take a look. I'm just going to look on the roof, and hopefully...
We've been RVing for 40 years.
You don't mind if I film it all? Are you okay with that?
Oh, no.
I can, okay. Yeah, 40 years?
Yeah, and we sold our big fifth wheel
Yeah.
2 years ago because we were gone so much. We weren't seeing my grandkids grow up.
Yeah.
I said, I can't go away anymore, like for months at a time anymore, because.
Yeah.
And so we sold it, and I said to my wife about 2 weeks ago, I said, I got to start camping again. I can't do this.
So how long was your hiatus from camping?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
So you downgraded to do a pop-up? Or
2 years last month.
Last month.
We sold the fifth wheel.
Okay.
And we went to Alaska and everything. And that.
Wow, wow. Where are your journeys taking you now? Or where are you planning on going?
Probably close.
Close.
Yeah, within a couple hundred miles.
The gentleman I bought this from, Jim, he bought another vintage-looking camper. The Amish apparently made it over to Indiana. He's getting delivery on this weekend, I think.
Oh, really?
But yeah, he didn't. He's just going to like local lakes and stuff. But
that's kind of what we'll do. We'll take the grandkids camping. We started with a pop-up, went to a motorhome.
Yeah.
Had a couple of motorhomes, then went to a big fifth wheel because we were living in it 3 or 4 months at a time.
Okay.
And we worked Yellowstone and Mount Rushmore and all that.
Wow.
So that was cool.
This is about 3,700 pounds, I think.
That's all?
Yeah. So, and I hope I'd shave off some more weight. So I can't pull it with this thing. I got a different vehicle here shortly. But I'm hoping, kind of like the pop-up camper, the expense to own this, the operation maintenance is not going to be like one of these beasts. I could never. See, I feel like that's too much of too much of expense.
That's what we had. I had a big diesel pickup.
Yeah.
And the big fifth wheel, we had $140,000 invested in that.
Yeah.
And I said, this is quite an investment for weekends.
Yeah.
So we just sold
exactly.
It.
Yeah.
Because we got $2,500 invested here.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
I just took it. My son-in-law and his dad helped me put a hitch on the back because there's no storage.
Oh, for bikes and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, actually, I'll use it for actually carrying coolers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because if I take the grandkids, there ain't no room.
Yeah.
So
that's smart. A little one of those flat deck backs. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that with this. Does that Honda Pilot pull pretty well?
Oh, yeah, it does a great job.
Is that 3,500 or 5,000 pounds? What, do you know what it can pull?
It can, according to, there's no way in the world I ever pull this with it. I think it was 42.
42, yeah. What do they say? You should pull no more than 80% of its capacity.
Yeah, and there's no way in the world you can hook 1,000 pounds on that for me.
Yeah. Well, hey, go ahead and look inside. I'm just gonna crawl. I'm gonna climb up and see what the roof looks like, and I'll see on the inside.
What year is this?
1970. L&M Roadrunner. It has a University of Washington State tag on the back on the side, but I think it's a Utah company, but they're no more.
Right? No, they're not in business.
I like these little levels that they got on the side here. I don't know if they it looks like they might work.
Get some bigger ones.
Yeah, I looked at those.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Just be careful. Don't hurt yourself. All right. Speaking of don't hurt yourself, it's wet and I'm climbing on top of propane tanks. I'm gonna put you down on my shoulder. All right. Here we go. You like that in there? Yeah. I'm gonna try and keep as much of the floor plan with the exception of the dining area. But thank you, yeah, and lighten it up. It's too drab in there, you know, kind of that vintage look. I've seen a lot of old ones where people kept that feel, and I don't think I'll enjoy it as much. I'm willing to let go of that vintage feel on the inside to make it feel more modern. It's the outside that's the vintage.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's definitely pooling water up here. Do you think I should try and get that off today? I mean, yeah, there's standing water. But it doesn't look, it's just all right in the middle. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna stop. All right, so finishing up today's vlog, you can see there on my phone, I'm taking dimensions. So I've measured the entire interior, so I can put it in SketchUp. And the second part of this, also the weatherization, I have noticed it is wet up in this corner by the closet. And you can see that is part of that probably vent stack going up right there. I gotta look again on the roof, but it's definitely wet right there. Elsewhere, I suspect then might also be a little bit wet behind here, because that's where the other vent stack is, above the bathroom. You can see I pulled down some of the bits. And then let's check right here real quick. No, that's not wet. See, a lot of you can see damage and you just don't know if it until you touch it, if it's currently a problem or if it's just has been a problem. And then this, actually, I just realized this indicates that this clearly was a window at one point. This metal here that someone ripped out, that's a shame, because I won't know how I'm going to restore that, if it's something I can actually open or if I'm just going to have to make it a fixed window. Okay, that concludes today's and day, I guess you want to call it day one of this demo, this remodel on this 1970 L&M Roadrunner vintage trailer. I was told it was 5,000 pounds and 20 feet. Measuring it, like I said, I think it's interior 16 feet and about 3,700 pounds based on other single axle ones online. So a little bit different than when I first thought. No biggie. I have the beds out here, as you can see. I folded this out. This is pretty big, lower bed. This is a little smaller, this top one, and then obviously the cushion is not as thick, so this would be a much more comfortable space likely than this, unless you kind of cramp the headroom and put a bigger cushion in there. And this whole thing folds up like this. It's really neat how it does it. I'll show you later, but it kind of goes back. The gentleman earlier, he owns that little camper outside. Got his contact information. He wants to check out and see how this remodel goes. I let him come check out the inside. And you know, this is a whole community, subculture, very knowledgeable people, and it's just good to make contacts in this realm. And sometimes they're epic journeys, like that gentleman goes to Yellowstone and stuff, or they go to smaller little local places. And one of the main takeaways from talking with him is, you know, he was big into this, had a big, large fifth wheel, and just spend too much time away from grandkids, months away. So for the last 2 years, he's been away from camping, and they had an itch to get back into it, and got into it through a little pop-up, you know, little weekend trips versus month-long journeys in his retirement that he did before. Pretty intricate here. You see these pieces are broken, or these are fine. It's this. These two are broken. They're missing. I know. I'll have to find spares. So back to that point, you know, my interest in having this vintage trailer, other than maybe a third life crisis and, you know, wanting the security of having a little home, even if it's on wheels. I also have friends in Tucson building a tiny home, and I want to kind of share this experience with them and be a resource for each other as we go through this, even though it's a little different than your tiny home, you know, like a small building from ground up. I want to take this on weekend trips for races, road races, mountain bike, things like that, Xterras, triathlons. I thought it'd be a fun thing to have. So, not really in retirement yet, but I also want to let my parents borrow it whenever they want for use. I'm going to take these guys home and see if I can clean them up, maybe clean them off, put Rust-Oleum, refinish those with some high temp spray paint. I know it sounds low grade, but Rust-Oleum has good products. So that's about it. Today's done. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I hope I make this journey informative and interesting and you know, enjoyable along the way if you stick it out. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.